The Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comic series, while beloved by many fans for its extended lore and unique character development, also contains numerous controversial and outdated storytelling elements. Among the most heavily scrutinized is the romantic relationship between Geoffrey St. John and Princess Sally Acorn. This pairing not only raised eyebrows among fans for its questionable character dynamics, but also for ethical and age-related issues that would not hold up under modern standards of writing or consent. At its core, the Geoffrey/Sally dynamic exhibits hallmarks of toxic masculinity, possessiveness, and a troubling power imbalance that has fueled widespread criticism and concern. One of the most glaring issues in Geoffrey and Sally's relationship is the way Geoffrey consistently asserts dominance and control, often cloaked under the guise of chivalry or protection. Despite Princess Sally Acorn being depicted as an intelligent, capable, and strategic leader, traits that made her a fan-favorite character, Geoffrey often overshadowed her decision-making and took unilateral action for her sake. Rather than acting as an equal partner, Geoffrey repeatedly cast himself in the role of protector or savior, whether she needed one or not. This behavior reflects a textbook example of toxic masculinity, the belief that men must dominate, protect, and possess women as a form of asserting superiority. Instead of respecting Sally's autonomy and leadership, Geoffrey constantly acted as though he knew better, reducing her to someone in need of rescue. Such patterns undermine Sally's own narrative of strength and growth and turn their relationship into one of imbalance rather than mutual respect. Another aspect of the problematic dynamic was Geoffrey's overly possessive nature. He was routinely shown acting antagonistically toward other male characters, especially Sonic the Hedgehog, whom he clearly saw as a rival for Sally's affections. Rather than trusting Sally's judgment or engaging in meaningful emotional intimacy, Geoffrey often sought to assert his claim over her by provoking and challenging any man who dared to get close to her. This behavior wasn't just protective, it was territorial. Geoffrey's interactions reeked of insecurity masked as dominance. His frequent need to prove his superiority over other male characters, especially in front of Sally, was less about love and more about ego. Most troubling were his deliberate physical displays of affection in public or in the presence of his perceived rivals, actions designed to communicate ownership rather than emotional connection. These performances served more to intimidate other men than to nurture a loving relationship with Sally. Perhaps the most damning critique of the Geoffrey/Sally relationship lies in the uncomfortable implications surrounding their age difference. Canon sources establish Sally Acorn as 17 years old. However, Geoffrey St. John's age has been a point of contention. In Knuckles the Echidna number 20, Geoffrey is shown in a flashback as older than Elias Acorn, Sally's older brother, who is established as 21. This would place Geoffrey at least 21 years of age, making his romantic relationship with a 17-year-old deeply controversial. This age discrepancy led to accusations of ephebophilia, defined as an adult's sexual attraction to adolescents in the mid to late teen years. Although former head writer Ken Penders claimed Geoffrey was 20 rather than 21 or older, this does little to change the fundamental ethical concerns, especially considering how age and maturity are handled in fictional media intended for younger audiences. Making matters worse, Penders publicly stated that there were long-term plans for Geoffrey and Sally to have a sexual encounter. While he clarified that such content would not have made it into the comic due to its G-rated nature, the very fact that such a plot was considered has drawn harsh backlash from fans and critics alike. Given the comic's young readership and the implied grooming dynamic of an adult pursuing a sexual relationship with a teenager, the proposed storyline is indefensible by today's standards. Modern storytelling, particularly in all-ages media, is much more attuned to issues of consent, power dynamics, and appropriate age relationships. In the current cultural climate, rightfully more sensitive to predatory behavior and toxic masculinity, a relationship like Geoffrey and Sally's would not only be rejected by audiences, but likely condemned by publishers. The combination of possessive behavior, constant attempts to assert dominance, and the troubling age gap would render this relationship predatory in the eyes of modern readers. Sally Acorn, a strong and independent character, deserves relationships that reflect mutual respect and emotional maturity, not one steeped in control, jealousy, and moral ambiguity. Today's readers expect healthier portrayals of romance that emphasize trust, communication, and equality, values that Geoffrey and Sally's relationship consistently failed to demonstrate. The romantic pairing of Geoffrey St. John and Sally Acorn is a relic of an earlier, less critically engaged era of comic book storytelling. Its reliance on toxic masculine tropes, unhealthy relationship dynamics, and problematic age implications have not aged well, and in fact, highlight the importance of evolving narratives to reflect modern ethical and emotional intelligence. While the Archie Sauna comics have brought joy to many fans, they also serve as a reminder of how far storytelling has come and how far it still needs to go in promoting healthier, more respectful portrayals of relationships.